Very good evening, my dear brothers and sisters. I hope you didn't miss me last Sunday. I did miss you. I couldn't talk to you all. I tried to do something, but at the same time, it was too late. I did record the video, as I said, trying to use the mic, which was quite an interesting thing because I didn't even realize that the battery had run out. This time, I've connected somehow a battery source and the Bluetooth mic, so which is, I hope that you can hear me better now. What an amazing Sunday we have. It's like a science fiction scene. Imagine you are entering this room, a total security check is done on you. It's a science fiction. It's not like people are doing it, men are doing it. It's the machine doing it. So there is this particular, the first reading like a mirror from the front or a scanning laser which passes through you from the front. And the second reading is like that mirror or a laser check from behind which passes through you from back to front. And the gospel, a laser setup sort of lighting, in a science fiction movie they showed this light which passes you, scans your whole. So it's like the laser light sort of passing from the top to the bottom and back up. First reading from the book of wisdom, amazing. Starts with the beautiful sentence which sort of shakes each one to the core. The godless says, let us test the virtue. I sort of remained baffled and I said like, oh, the godless. What about the God-loving people? Don't they say that they want to also test the virtuous? Or somebody who is following God? And then the reading continues. So as I said, that is the reason I said it's like on your face, this beautiful phrase which is supposed to wake you up. It's like gushing a bucket full of cold water on you. Probably you might have seen, some people, even the celebrities take this ice bucket challenge, something like that, but from the front, okay? So it's that cold water of God's wisdom just poured upon us and you just wake up. The second reading from the book of James or the letter of James is from the back. Imagine not only you are being poured out from the front, but also from the back, so that you are not only wet front but also from the back. So you wake up completely, you jump and sort of shout and scream. That is what is the reading about. So St. James starts with this beautiful sentence, and he says, where envy and ambitions are, there is a discord, there is this confusion, there is no harmony at all. And it shakes us to the core, because already the book of wisdom said the godless says, let us test the virtues, the way they test the virtues, because he or she is not according to their norms, the worldly norms, because they are following the norms of God. They are very happy in what they are doing. So for them, everything is God. Whereas the godless, nothing is God in there. It's all worldly things. There is no cross except the beautiful paradise they want to live. And I always say, my dear brothers and sisters, if not through cross, you won't get resurrected. You won't die for the worldly things. You won't die for your sins. If you're not dead, how can there be a resurrection? I still remember when I'm talking about that, in my mind, the beautiful soundtrack from the recent movie called Infinite. And the song is at the end of the credit rolls. So the song is there, I'm alive. So yeah, that music is in my head, and whenever I talk about resurrection, I say like, I will resurrect like Jesus. So only Jesus is resurrected, and that is where I want to follow, when the rapping goes on. So coming back to our text, our readings for today. What an amazing reading. Just wakes you up, just makes you scream. To an extent, St. James goes and says, a very practical apostle. So you remember last week he was saying like, you want to show your faith without good works? I show you my faith with good works. And this we can say like, hey, you know what? You notice some people are envious. There are some people who are ambitious. My dear brothers and sisters, what is envy? As Saint Thomas Aquinas, the great theologian and a very, very friend of all the theologians, a very good friend, saint, would say, envy is an irrational anger on somebody's success. I repeat, envy, according to St. Thomas, is an irrational anger on the success of others. And he will continue to go on because it's so amazing, right? And one of the great things which I have been hearing even from Bishop Robert Barron is this, that how much envy can break us. How much we become godless. Though we are following God, we become godless the moment we become envious of someone's success. I did share also this, I'm repeating it. I do remember that the 5 years when I was told by the congregation to take a break sort of thing, and I was a deacon, I'm seeing all my juniors, all of them getting ordained to an extent. Some of them even asked me after their ordination, no, because the priest is ordained now, he's a priest in the person of Christ, no, persona Christi, as they say. So I as a deacon, I was there for the ordination. And after the ordination and everything, the bishop kisses the hand of the priest, because from that day, it's not your hand, it's Christ's hand who consecrates and gives Christ to others. So I'm standing in the queue and I'm about to kiss the hand. How many comments? Oh, Sidon, when are you going to be ordained? Quando sarai ordinato sacerdote? Sei da tempo, eh? Means, I'm translating in Italian, from Italian, is like, it's been a long time, huh? When are you getting ordained? They know my situation, they knew everything, and at that moment how I felt? I don't know about envy, maybe there was envy, but at the same time, I was also crossed with God. And I said like, Lord, you know what is he saying? He just got ordained. This is what comes, the first thing he sees me comes out of his mouth. It's all because of you. So I even used to get cross with the Lord, and I said like, why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? So you see, not only I was envious because he was getting ordained, he was a junior of 3 to 4 years behind me, he's getting ordained, and after his ordination, when I go to kiss his hand, this is what he says. And the first thing is, apart from envy, I'm cross with God. You see, my dear brothers and sisters, how true is the book of wisdom when it says, godless says, the godless says. As soon as we become envious, we not only break the relationship with the brothers and sisters who are successful, we also break the relationship with God. Because it's God who gave that to him. He didn't give to me. And you see how we become godless. And obviously the cousin of envy is ambition, because envy is that position or that particular sort of a situation when you see somebody has something beautiful, precious, and the gift, promotion or something like that, and after that moment you feel that you have been put down, or we become envious and we try to put them down by our gossips, our comments, our angry comments, and so on and so forth. But at the same time, ambition is the opposite of it, but it's the cousin of envy. Because as soon as I see that I am envious of that person, he has something or she has something, what I do is, I become ambitious. Or sometimes we want to be ambitious, that I want to reach that target, I want to reach that goal, I want to become the next manager in post, maybe higher than him or her, in professional life as well as in our life, everyday life. When becoming ambitious, what happens? You want to keep ahead of the pack, you want to be ahead of everyone. So what happens? You are unconsciously, you're intentionally making everyone behind you, putting them down again. When you're envious, you're putting them down by your angry comments and gossips. When you're ambitious, you're still doing the same. But the only thing is, they're not putting you down, you are putting them down because you're going ahead of them. How amazing the readings of today's. That's why I said, imagine it's like a science fiction laser scan from the front, from the back, and the gospel from the top. The gospel is so amazing. It's that Jesus is talking about the mission which is entrusted to us. You remember the Mission Impossible music? Everyone remembers, even Monsignor James remembers that. He says like, oh, you know what? When you will become Pope, you're going to come with the phone with the Mission Impossible music. And I said like, hey, Father, you know what? That would be amazing. I never thought of that. So you remember the Mission Impossible music? Your mission, if you chose to accept. And we took up the mission. The same mission is being taught by Jesus today. When Jesus says, I have come into the world to give up my life, to show to you what it means to be selfless in loving others. To get rid of all these petty things like envies and ambitions and everything. And Jesus says, I will teach you another way. Not about success, but about to be faithful to what you have been called. The commodity of today's world, which nobody gives except Christ. Joy, peace, happiness, life, blessings. And Jesus is talking about this. And the apostles, wow, they are so amazing sometimes. And the disciples, they are saying, like, forget about what Jesus said. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in the mission. I'm interested in being, I look at him, he is the favorite of Jesus. So I'm envious. He is above me. Oh, no. I want to overcome them. Ambition. So envy and ambition catches hold of them and they start asking the question, who's the greatest? The mission is important, not the titles, not the ambitions or envies. Get rid of that. That is what Jesus said. And Jesus says, what were you talking about? That Jesus talks about the mission and nobody is interested in that. You see, the devil, the diabolical, devil never wants the cross. He never accepts the cross. And that is why they were all distracted, because Jesus was talking about the cross, the death and the resurrection. No, they were not interested in that. How many of us, my dear brothers and sisters, are today interested to know Jesus, to talk to Jesus, to walk with Jesus, to be like Jesus? Imitatio Christi, or imitation of Christ. Who wants to do it today? Jesus told the mission is not going to be easy. You have to take up the cross and walk. And I always say, thanks be to God. He's there to take up, help me out. And if I need anything, He's there to help me out. The day which I took up the mission in the confirmation, I want to renew it. I want to be the agent of love. So I invite you, my dear brothers and sisters, let us remember these. God is calling us, and Jesus puts the child in front of them. And He says, if you want to be the greatest, you want to be the powerful person, be like children. Be in the present moment. Rejoice in the Lord's presence every time you come into the church. Live that present moment of being united with God. Talk to God, talk to Jesus. Tell Him all that you're going through. And tell Him like a child. Because you know, children when they play, when they are in the play mood, they don't bother about anything else. Even if you say, hey, you know what, you don't do that. And they don't. My niece, both my nieces, whenever they talk, one wants to switch off the WhatsApp call because there is that red button. She wants to grab the phone, and she's not bothered. Even if her mom says, hey, you know what, hold on, I'm just showing you, uncle. No, she's not bothered. She wants the phone. Or another niece of mine, she says like, oh, you know what, count. You count. And we play hide and seek on the phone, live, no WhatsApp. And she says like, oh, for her nothing disturbs when she is playing that. She'll come and say again, if I make a mistake, she will come, no, you count again. I have to count 10, but she will not count 10. She will say 1, 2, 3 and 10. That's it. Children, they get lost in that moment. Let us get lost in God so that we may find ourselves in God. This is my wish, this is my prayer. May envy and ambition not be our way of life, but a selfless love, not selfish love, selfless love. Be our way, be that way that Christ taught us. I wanted to show you this. You know, this creature, you might have seen, bees. Bees are those creatures they're not envious of anything. They go do the hard work. They collect all the honey and the fragrance and pollens. They are also the hard workers who sort of pollinate the flowers for fruits and vegetables and seeds. So, the bees are never envious of anything. They work hard, they do the best. To an extent, man goes and takes the honey of all that hard work collected. Yet, they keep on doing the same thing, repeating it. It's not like a mechanism or a mechanical thing. Work hard, even if it is taken away, don't worry, God is there to give you back. He will multiply the flowers more than what you need. Or He may even give you a place where nobody is going to even touch those honeycombs and take the honey away. So let us remember honeybees. Another pillow to remind you, it always makes me wonder how much hard they work. And I also ask the Lord to bless each one of you so that you may be encouraged to be the hard workers, not ambitious, not envious, but rather genuine, like children, abandoning ourselves in God. In the meantime, you take care. God bless you. Bye.